picking up the planet with a press on it. It's easier holding you down.
There we go. I'm John Quinones, and this is What Would You Do? Tonight, the dangers of online dating.
Just loosen up.
Don't touch me. Why are you touching me?
One study found 81% of people lie about themselves on their online dating profiles. 46% of Americans now believe dating sites are not too safe or not safe at all.
We're in Northport, New York, at Delvino Vineyards, where our actress is waiting for her date, a guy her age that she met on an app. But when he shows up, it's clear he's not exactly the guy she thought she was meeting.
Well, is this seat taken?
Yeah, I'm waiting for...
Oh, that's me. You're Xena, right?
I'm sorry, I'm just so confused. You look nothing like you do in your photos.
Oh, those things I haven't updated them in a while.
Yeah, but you look like 20 years older.
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna make such a big deal out of it. I just wanted to meet your beautiful lady.
If you saw this case of online dating gone wrong, what would you do?
Is this your first time on a date? Just calm down a little bit.
But I don't... Why are you trying to touch me? I don't know you.
I was just trying to calm you down because you're making a scene and it's our first date.
So, I know, like, some people have, like, certain love languages and stuff. Like, some people's love language is, like, physical touch, and some people's is words of affirmation, or, like, gift giving, etc., etc. Side note, please pay attention to how someone tries to love you and not how you need love. Because even if they're not showing you in a way that you would better receive love, it doesn't mean that they don't love you or care about you. They're just only showing you in the way that they can provide love, right? So for example, if somebody's love language is gift giving, or like they feel like you love them when you buy them something that makes you think of them, or you thought of them when you were buying it, you know? And your love language is like words of affirmation. If it was like, say, a holiday or something, you give them like a card, and it's like a well written out expression of love, and then they just come at you like, well, you didn't put money in it, or hug me. And no love language is wrong or anything, but that's just a side note. So I could see how on a first date or on dates period or in a relationship, etc., things like that could get mixed up. Like, you could just tell yourself, so-and-so doesn't care about me or love me, or so-and-so is like selfish, or etc. Or it's probably not even none of that. It's probably just disconnect, you know. Or some people, like me, for example, I am like really into physical touch and stuff like that, but you know, recently I've just been dealing with like scenarios where I didn't really want to be touched so much. I wanted to kind of like recover from like a bunch of grief and a bunch of like stupid stuff that's just drawn out. Anyway, this guy seems like he's on a first date with this girl, and apparently he was a catfish. So right off the bat, you already have a foundation of lies in the like relationship that you're pursuing or trying to create. And you know, trust really means a lot more than love ever could, because you could love somebody all you want, but like you may not be loving someone correctly or the way they need. And that's also kind of like kind of wanting somebody so bad, and you know, maybe you may not be doing the things that it takes to have a particular individual in a relationship, etc. You know what I'm saying? So trust goes a long way, and like honesty and all that goes a long way, even for the smallest things, because when you're in your truth, you can only attract really what's for you, for real. Like, and there's no confusion or regrets or mistakes, you know, or misunderstanding, for real. Um, yeah, I think there's a song like that where some artist was saying, I'd rather somebody trust me than to love me, or I'd rather trust you than love you, because there's a thin line between love and hate, for real. Like, anything you love too much might be stemming from um like insecurity or lack of control or self-love, or like, you know. So first of all, if you're just trying to get to know someone or you're trying to be with someone, please know who you are and then know who that person is, and don't try to be somebody you're not, right? Whether that's being a catfish using other people's photos, or like masking being something in somebody, or trying to act like somebody you're not. You know what I'm saying? This all ties together anyway. Catfishing is not a good way to start any type of relationship, because you're basically just lying about who you are, like blatantly. And then for the reveal to be during a first date who you really are, if these people were, say, talking for a while, that's like a breakup a little bit. That like breaks your trust, because you accepted that person that they showed you, or you accepted what they showed you as who they are, and it doesn't mean maybe who you really are is not good enough, or not good, period, or doesn't mean that the person that you chose to act like, or the pictures that you chose to use that aren't yours, is like better than you, or like nothing like that. It's just kind of messed up. It would make somebody feel like guilty for not, accepting who you really are. And maybe they might have accepted you as you really are if you would have just came forward how you were from the beginning, right? Like, and relationships really are up in the air. Nothing's really written in stone. Now, you could devote your life, commit your life to someone else or something, or anything, you know what I'm saying? You could do that. You can remind yourself how much you love this person, or how much you love this thing, etc., etc. And then you can, like, you can renew vows, you can write love letters every day, you can just remind yourself what type of plan you're on, or what type of, like, you know what I'm saying? You could constantly keep someone in your vicinity, in your presence, in your face, so that they're not like out of mind, you know what I'm saying? And the simple fact that, you don't have control over everything, or like how something ends up, just knowing that simply just is the opposite of justifying why anybody should be catfishing anyone. It's like, you just don't know how something could work, even if you did show up as yourself. So it's just odd to try to use somebody's pictures as bait. I really just don't understand, like, how, if you like someone and you feel like they don't like you, or like maybe your type of person, like if you're like another race or size or gender or whatever, if you like someone and you feel like they wouldn't like you as you are, you shouldn't pursue it in the first place. And that has to do with your own insecurities, because you never even tried to find out if they would have liked you how you were, so that's why the catfishing thing just automatically kills the prospective relationship, because you're just basically lying. That's like telling someone you're gonna pay for dinner when you take them out, and then you just kind of like leave them hanging. That's like the same feeling, same thing. It's like you didn't have to really lie or do that. Like if you didn't have the money, just say that. So then not only does somebody have to like overthink and overprotect themselves after feeling like you're just a liar, because you don't know what more they could lie about or what else they could do with that type of like activity, you know, or hobby. It's bad enough. First dates usually are really meant for like a good first impression for the most part, but then to be trying to be touchy with someone, kind of right after they find out that you are a liar or something, it's weird. It's already bad enough to be trying to be touchy on a first date. So then it's just leaves room for questioning your motive. Like, are you trying to like kidnap me and hide behind another face? Are you like gonna hurt me? Or like you're a liar, I don't trust you, I don't know you. And then like if the excuse is, well, you've been talking to me this whole time and I just don't look like who I look, how the pictures look, it would just leave me to feel like, if it was me, I would feel like, but you could be lying about your personality too. Like, there's no excuse to.
Why don't you just give me a chance and not make such a big deal? You're flipping out about it.
First of all, right, I don't know who normalized making somebody feel like they're boring or they're prissy or stuck up if they just don't F on the first date, or it's like that other party's own insecurities are like conscious, you know what I'm saying? If they can't handle rejection or feeling like somebody wasn't chasing them or like trying really hard to make something happen physically, that just translates for some reason that they're probably just not good enough or like not attractive to you. And first dates don't always have to be like cracking down, getting busy. You know, like you're supposed to be able to talk to people before you really do that type of thing. If, you know, you are strong enough to either resist, or if you, let's say, just don't have literal strength to stop someone from touching you, kind of. Anyway, a first date should not equal you're getting sex or like something physical, or it shouldn't warrant that you can touch someone just because they agreed to a date. They agreed to a date, not being taken advantage of, because, you know, those same people that want you to like open up really fast really will lose respect for you just as fast, because apparently you're either boring or you're a hoe or you're just too fast. So also, it's for people to like usually try to lie about their age if they like somebody that's either older than them or a lot younger than them. So my advice on that is just to not do that. Like, maybe we can all agree to disagree about age only being a number. Some people feel like it's okay for a fresh 18-year-old to date a 40-year-old. Some people don't care as long as they're legal. People do care. They have emotional development and like wisdom and experience in life. So an 18-year-old dating a 40-year-old would either be creepy or maybe they're mature for real. Who knows? So it's just like, don't lie, because you're just making a bigger mess. You're making more of a reason for this to not work. And you're letting the worst thoughts or the worst case scenario get to you for real before it even began. Like, maybe, for example, this girl didn't have a problem dating an older person per se, but let's say if you're trying to have kids one day, or you're trying to do certain things because you're at your own little age, right, where you're growing at your own little pace, and that person might be a tad bit older than you, they probably won't be as active or as capable to take care of like you for all that extra time that you need to catch up to them, if that makes sense. And I mean, it's never written in stone for real, but for one, you could get somebody in trouble that way if you're not old enough. But even if you are, it just, some people don't want to feel like they have to like mother someone or father someone, or like, some people have no problem with that, but you know, people are entitled to want what they want, like what they like. And then lying about something like your age could make such big trouble for people, or like such a disconnect, because you might realize over time like y'all can't really get along and talk about the same things, or like kind of just be on the same page like for the most part. I mean, there's outliers in this world, like relationships that have huge age gaps, or like people did kind of get catfished, or like people got over things, or somebody did this and they did that, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can have success stories like that. However, it is fair to like expect someone to not trust you if you lie or lied about everything or who you are.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it's like, he's supposed to be 25. Yeah.
All right, let's break it. Let's go in.
Do you want to take a photo?
Yeah, it's 2025. Nobody should really be catfishing anymore, but people be on different timelines or think differently. Loving yourself is really not impossible if you're insecure, or if you have like insecure tendencies. Like, some people aren't insecure at the core, they just have certain things that tick them off or trigger them, right? So that will be your job, to work on those things before you even try to get into a relationship, so that you don't have to lie about who or like what you are, or like your age, or whatever the case may be. You would feel better actually in your truth. Like I said in the beginning, you could just then actually be yourself, and there's no like history of lies and such. If you can't accept yourself as you are, right? If you don't, let's say you want to work out and you only go to the gym because you hate your body, that would then turn into an addiction, or like you're actually working against yourself and your body, because you're going to work too hard to keep yourself a certain way, not out of love, but out of like hate. And then you're never going to really feel good, because you're always going to want more, or you're always going to want to change to something else, because you're just not accepting yourself. But if you're doing it because you do love yourself and you just want to feel better, that's kind of something like a relationship, like a relationship with your body, a relationship with God, a relationship with yourself. If you have a good relationship with yourself, you can expect to have other good relationships, because it's just going to like radiate off of you, how you treat yourself, how you like yourself. And maybe some old things might die off or dissipate, like old flings or old relationships or friends and family even. You know, those things can naturally come and go as we flow. But yeah, if you accept yourself, you can expect that somebody would accept you as wholly as you do yourself. You know, if you feel like, you know, you just don't like how you look, or F it, maybe you just wanted to be a catfish just to be silly, or you were curious to see how it's like being someone else. You shouldn't even be trying to get into no relationship, really. it's just leaving. That's a recipe for like disaster and an inevitable fallout. Like, for as long as you don't accept yourself, you're gonna run into people that pick at you, make you feel like certain things about you is not enough or not good enough and all this crap, right? And then nobody has to lie, nobody has to be lied to, nobody has to feel like they're getting tricked or endangering themselves trying to get to know somebody that lied to them or catfishes them or tries to make them feel guilty or vain for not accepting them after lie, you know. The hypocrisy there is just being vain themselves. Like, you just assumed or told yourself, oh, they have to like this type of individual that I'm picking to act like or be like. And that's a red flag because like you already feel like you know them. And that's just not really fair or realistic. Like, relationships should leave room for like growth, change, expansion. Like, sometimes they last a long time, sometimes they don't. That doesn't mean like nothing's wrong with you or them. It just sometimes it just simply means that's enough. Like, you know, you can't control people. Some people refuse to love themselves. Some people refuse to let you love yourself in peace. Some things we just can't change. All we can do is like work on our internal peace and go where it fits, basically. With that being said, any relationship should really start with effective communication and comprehension and honesty, because catfishing is pointless. Somebody could be perfect in one person's eyes and be trash in another person's eyes. You just have to find your match. You can't you can't assume you know the outcome of something already, or like assume that you know someone like the back of your hand if you really don't. If you know the darkest parts of your soul, or you're at least tapped into that, that doesn't automatically tell how everybody else is, you know, how everybody else moves. The person in the room that thinks they're the smartest for real is usually the farthest from it, especially if they feel like they're getting something over on you. Or let's say people might catfish for a nefarious reason rather than insecurity. That's even worse, right? So like, the cliche is to be yourself, but it's not a cliche. It's literally true. Like, you would want to be able to be yourself and not have to walk around eggshells or withhold certain things, or like hide or sneak things that you like or enjoy or don't enjoy. And any and everything that comes with you should be accepted in any relationship, good or bad. And if you feel like something is too bad for you or too good for you, lying is not going to change that. It's just going to make the situation worse, or the possibility of it being a successful relationship being minuscule. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never wanted to look a little different or be something that I'm not, like, in a positive way, but I've never really went out of my way to really ever catfish anyone. I don't think I ever will, for real. At least not for any type of like gain or any sort of like messed up motive, for real. It just leaves a huge hole in your heart, like trust wise. It's like it leaves potholes. Like, one small lie could turn into a big lie. One big lie could turn into a big mistake. One big mistake could be a big regret, or maybe not, but you don't want to start anything off of a lie. Even if your intentions after that is really, really good, you would have to work even harder to get the type of results that you're looking for if you say were some sort of catfish in someone's life, whether that's like how much money you make, how you operate in the world, how you see the world, how you treat yourself, etc., etc. So just be yourself. Like, you will literally find who's for you. Like, it's somebody for everybody. The world is way, way, way too big to feel like you can't let go of something that you think you love or something that you really love, because it's literally possible for that to come back around if it's really love. Like, some people date casually and others date for marriage, or they're under the impression that that could be something long term. So that's why it's really important to be honest, because everybody has their own motive and intention, and you don't want to be somebody's waste of time or have anybody waste your time. You don't know how much time you have on earth, and you don't know how long a relationship would last. Like, we don't have a time machine or a crystal ball, but it's like better to be honest all the time than try to uphold something fake. At that rate, if you feel like you're upholding something like a big lie or a big story, that's too much to keep up with, and you might as well not be doing it at all. Honestly, doing something like catfishing, or let's say cheating, or let's say doing something that you shouldn't do, it comes out and then you just lie about it, or you just, that would be implying that you're not trying to change the behavior because you're just trying to have someone feel like you're somehow doing the right thing already, or you're trying to prove to yourself that people are superficial and basically shift the blame to the other party for real if things don't work out the way you expected or wanted it to. But something can only work out if you make it work. And making something work does not mean, oh, this is just happening, or it feels forced, or it feels not how it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to feel like you're accepting one another. Like, there's permissions and dates and all that. So if you're basically lying about who you are, whether that's as a person, or like pictures and such, and then you show up like a whole different person than they expected, that's just, first of all, you didn't really gain consent like how you think. You just baited them into something they didn't sign up for. So let's not do that. I could kind of compare it to like a drive-through order. Like, if you say, I want a Big Mac with ketchup or whatever you wanted on it, and then they bring out like a cheeseburger, right? You can tell yourself, okay, I can accept this whether you want to or not, but it's just the principle, like what you signed up for you didn't get, and it just would feel like a betrayal a little bit. You would feel like that's not what I really asked for. And I'm not saying cheeseburgers are nasty or Big Macs are better than cheeseburgers. Sometimes Big Macs too much. Sometimes, we can adjust, we can accept or not. It's just the principle is you can't expect somebody to not at least say something or be not okay with that not being right. Like, hell, for all you know, maybe the reason why they're asking for that specific item is not because they don't like the other items. It's probably just like they're picky, or like people are allowed to be picky, like, or they might have some form of allergen towards another item, or you might not just be able to have that. Like, sometimes it's out of your control. Sometimes it's out of your control how somebody responds to you. Or really, it's always out of your control how somebody responds or reacts to how you show up or who you are. So all you can control is putting yourself in spaces where if you love yourself, you're going to be good. regardless of if somebody else does or not. And again, nobody gets hurt.